Hey y'all, welcome to Harrow Farms. I'm Sam. Today we're out in the rabbit barn. I'm going to talk to you guys about what we feed our rabbits because it's a really affordable way to get some good nutrition into your animals without having to spend a ton of money. So our feed ration for our rabbits includes 3 different things. First, come here. Our feed ration includes pellets, hay, and fresh forage.
I want to say something.
Go ahead. I've found that by offering 3 different kinds of foods, I can really give them a well-rounded diet, as well as lowering the cost of the pellets that we feed. The first part of our ration is a 15% protein pelletized feed from FRM. If you want faster growing kits, I recommend getting a higher protein feed. Something like 18%, I think Purina Pro Grow series, maybe. You can get it at Tractor Supply, is a great option. So since Jerry works at a store that carries FRM feeds, he actually gets an employee discount. So this is the cheapest thing that we could feed, and that Pro series is about twice as expensive as what we're currently feeding. I do plan on having a little experiment later on this year where we feed half of a litter the higher protein and half of the litter this lower protein, just to see if it's worth the extra money to try to grow them faster. But for right now, this works well for us. Our rabbits are just a little slower growing. For my grow outs and for any does that are pregnant or nursing a litter, they get free choice feed, so all the time. We've got these little J feeders that I use, and I just make sure that they stay full as much as possible. Once the litters are getting a little older, they do kind of run out overnight, but I come out every morning and make sure that I fill all of them up. The next part of our ration is hay. This particular hay isn't like a great quality. It's kind of brown and dried out. The greener the hay, the more nutritious it is. So if you can find stuff that is greener, that's better. This is just what I had available. For, again, grow outs and does that are nursing, I try to make sure that they have this all the time. I've got little feeders that I've built on the outside of my cages on a couple of them. I need to make a couple more and I'll film how to do it. It's super simple. If you have any kind of extra hardware cloth around, just cut a weird shape and it all folds together. It works really well. Anyways, so with hay, this is gonna help reduce the amount of pellets you're feeding. With our hay not being super nutritious because it is dried out and kind of brown, I'm not too concerned about it because we also feed fresh forage. So it kind of levels everything out. These are the feeders that I like to use. They're just a J feeder. You can get them at Tractor Supply or maybe on Amazon. I'll link some in the description below just so you have something to look at so you know what they're supposed to look like and what they're called. We cut holes in our cage. These are Dumore's rabbit cages. These are from Tractor Supply. If you buy these cages, buy J-clips as well so that you can kind of reinforce them. I can't see any on this front. Oh, here. There's a couple reinforced spots. Because while they are good cages, they don't secure very well when you like pop them out to stand up. And those J-clips really, really help. Anyways, so we just cut holes. We cut a couple little holes in the front of these cages so that I can put my feeders on the outside so I don't have to like put my hand in there and try to get the feed in. And this works really well. It's really convenient for the kids to be able to feed the ones on the bottom because they just have to open this and fill it up and I don't have to worry about any rabbits escaping. For these hay feeders right here, they're just made out of hardware cloth, which is super simple. If you have hardware cloth on hand already, I mean, like, go for this. If you don't have hardware cloth already and you need something to feed hay in, you can buy little plastic baskets from like the Dollar Tree and just cut a hole in the top and zip tie them on the side. That's probably going to be cheaper than going and buying hardware cloth just for this, because hardware cloth Ain't cheap. So our last part of our feed ration is giving fresh forage. So how about you come with me and we'll go find something to feed. I had to make a quick little detour and go get this guy who woke up from his nap. He's gonna finish out this video with us. So what we're gonna do now is look for some stuff to pick for the rabbits. Right now, our yard has got tons and tons of grass, so that's mostly what I'm gonna feed. There's plenty of things that you can forage absolutely for free. There's wild brassicas, there's grass, you can do clover. There's a bunch of different options. You can, if you have an iPhone, you can use your iPhone to take a picture to identify plants. It'll actually pop up with a little identification. It's not 100% accurate, but it's better than nothing and it's good for learning. If you have an iPhone, once you find out what it says it is, just go on Google, search for that plant, make sure that that's what it actually looks like. Make sure that the leaves are exactly the same and in the same positions. Once you think that you've identified your plant, you can just simply Google, is, whatever plant safe for rabbits? And most of the time something will come up and tell you whether or not it's toxic. I have found that as long as you give them a variety of options, so either like ours have pellets and hay all the time, or if you're only free feeding or like forage feeding, which is a very valid option. You only need like 1 quart of greens and something that's kind of fibrous a day for a grown rabbit. So that's very manageable. Like 1 quart is not very much plant matter. So if you want to go that option, just make sure that you're picking a variety of things that you assume are safe. And most of the time, if there's something in it that's not good for them, they won't eat it, as long as they have other options. Now, if you go pick one thing and that's all you're feeding them that day, yeah, they might eat it because they're hungry. But as long as you give them a variety or they have access to other food sources, then you're probably gonna be fine. So I'm gonna take these scissors, chop up a bunch of this grass to take to the rabbits. I'm also gonna go over, we have some volunteer pumpkins that are coming up, and I'm gonna feed them some of the leaves because they really like that. There's a lot of garden things that you can feed them too. Most of them are things that we don't really eat, like zucchini leaves and pea shoots, which, we can eat them. It's just they're not like the typical thing we eat. So there's a lot of options for foraging and growing food. I'm gonna work on a garden specifically for the rabbits this year. I've got a handful of things that are higher in protein that'll help with our low protein pellets, kind of even everything out. But that's a conversation for another time. Can you feed this to that one?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Just set it down. Now you can reach the bowl. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Scoot it back. There. So our pigs, which you'll probably hear because they're right next to me, used to be in this big area, and we fed them a lot of different produce, and so we've got a ton of volunteer plants coming up. Last year, there was a huge volunteer tomato garden that came up and did amazing. We still have frozen tomatoes from it. It was completely hands-off. I never watered it. I didn't even stake up the tomatoes, and it produced so well. So anyways, this year there's a lot of pumpkin coming up. So I'm gonna cut some of these pumpkin leaves to feed to the rabbits because they really, really like them. Hi. You hear me talking? Talking. Come here, Spencer. I plan on doing a video where I actually track how much it costs to feed a litter to grow out. I have not done that yet, so I don't have numbers for you on exactly how affordable this is. One bag of our pellets is about $12, I think. A square bale of hay is somewhere between $7 and $9, and that will last our rabbits a month or more. They don't eat
Mom.
very much of it. Yes? I feel really confident in what we're feeding because it is very well rounded. There's fresh food, which I know that they really enjoy. There's the extra fiber they get from the hay. And then just to be sure that they're getting all of the nutrients that they really need and to help balance out anything that I'm not providing, then they also have their pellets. So it ends up being a pretty good system. Now, like I said, I'm gonna do an experiment later on to see if the protein content really matters enough for me to spend twice as much money to feed that. And then in which case, if it does turn out to be that much better, then I still have the other feed options that I'm giving that are cheap and free. So it still should be pretty manageable. As of right now, this is like dirt cheap. So that's how we feed our rabbits. It's subject to change as I do some experimenting and figure out exactly what works best for us and for our rabbits. But as of May 2024, this is what we're doing. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. I'll see you next time.